Meghan Markle's insane demands to enter the disunited kingdom have been revealed. And by the way, can I just be very clear? We don't want you, love. So making all of these demands, which we are going to have to pay for, is not going to go down well. The types of things she's asking for are nuts. Bulletproof glass, private planes, lockdown hotel floors.
5 minutes ago, the door to the United Kingdom didn't just close for Meghan Markle. It was slammed, bolted, and welded shut. Sources confirm that a delusional list of demands sent from Montecito for her potential return has been met with a reaction that has shaken the walls of Buckingham Palace. It wasn't a negotiation. It was an ultimatum. She demanded 4 entire floors of the Hyatt Hotel be locked down for her exclusive use. She demanded bulletproof glass and a fleet of luxury cars. She even demanded that British staff be forbidden from looking her in the eye. But this time, the palace isn't playing games. Insiders report that King Charles and Prince William have looked at this list and issued a permanent ban in all but name. The message is brutal and clear. We don't want you here. Welcome back to Legacy's Edge. Today, we are exposing the insane document that broke the king's patience. Meghan wanted a rival court. What she got was a humiliating rejection. Why did she demand a fortress for a simple sporting event? And what is the terrifying security trap she is setting for the royal family? Do not click away. We are about to reveal the 2 words the palace used to trash these diva demands forever. To understand why the palace reportedly threw this document in the trash, we have to look at the sheer scale of the audacity. We are calling this the Hyatt Ultimatum. According to explosive revelations, Meghan Markle is not planning a humble return to support veterans. She is planning a takeover. Insiders reveal that for her potential trip to the Invictus Games in Birmingham, she has demanded 4 floors of the Hyatt Hotel completely shut down just for her. Let's pause and consider the arrogance of that request. We are talking about a commercial hotel in a busy city center. She expects paying guests, families, business travelers, perhaps even veterans attending the games to be displaced or barred, so she can have a vacuum-sealed bubble of privacy. Even legitimate heads of state often settle for a presidential suite and a secure wing. But for the Duchess of Sussex, a suite is not enough. She wants a fortress. She is asking for a fortress within the city, complete with bulletproof glass at the games and armed security everywhere she goes. This isn't just about safety. It is about status. It is about projecting an image that she is the most important person in the room, the city, and the country. Alongside the hotel lockdown, the list reportedly includes a fleet of luxury cars and 24/7 drivers to ferry her around like a visiting empress. She demands a police escort from the airport straight to the hotel, ensuring she never has to sit in traffic like a normal citizen. And the entourage? It is fit for a Hollywood production, not a charity visit. She is reportedly flying in her own chef, assistant, hair and makeup team. Apparently, British food and British stylists are not up to her standards. Most egregiously, she demanded 4 separate rooms for her PR staff alone. Think about that. 4 rooms just for the spin doctors. This confirms what critics have long suspected. This trip isn't about the veterans. It is a PR stunt. It is a photo opportunity designed to restock her image bank, and she expects the infrastructure of the UK to bend the knee to make it happen. These are what sources are calling totally jaw-dropping conditions. She wants the red carpet rolled out, the streets cleared, and the buildings emptied. It is, quite frankly, highway robbery. She wants the perks of being a senior working royal, the security, the palaces, the deference, without doing a single day of the actual work. But if you think demanding 4 floors of a hotel is bad, wait until you hear the rules she reportedly tries to impose on the human beings who have to serve her. It is a demand so dehumanizing, so diva, that it makes the bulletproof glass look reasonable. If the demand for bulletproof glass and luxury suites paints Meghan as paranoid, the demands regarding the human beings who serve her paint a much darker picture of her character. We have arrived at the most disturbing part of the dossier, the invisible staff rule. According to the leaked conditions, locking down 4 floors wasn't enough to satisfy the Duchess's need for control. She reportedly wants to control where people look. Insiders reveal a draconian instruction given to venue staff. Staff aren't allowed to look at her. Let that sink in for a moment. We are talking about bellboys, cleaners, waiters, working-class men and women who are just trying to do their jobs. And they are reportedly being told that they are not worthy of making eye contact with the Duchess of Sussex. She wants to be in total control. This is a rule that belongs in the feudal courts of the 16th century, not in modern Britain, and certainly not coming from a woman who built her entire brand on being a relatable American mom who hugs strangers. It is the height of what we call holier-than-thou arrogance. It suggests that she views herself as a deity and the staff as peasants who must avert their gaze. For an audience in America, where we value a firm handshake and looking someone in the eye as a sign of respect, this is the ultimate insult. It strips the worker of their dignity. It says, "I am so far above you that you do not exist in my world." But the Diva Demands don't stop at eye contact. They extend to how she must be addressed. Despite quitting the royal family, despite trashing the institution on Netflix, and despite claiming she wanted freedom from titles, the demand list is explicit. Another insider adds that anyone who has any interaction with her has to call her Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex, no exceptions. No exceptions. That means if a maid knocks on the door to bring fresh towels, she cannot say, "Here are your towels, ma'am." She must recite the full royal title. This is the definition of hypocrisy. Meghan hates the protocol when it restricts her behavior, but she seemingly loves the protocol when she can use it to belittle others. This isn't just a rumor for this upcoming trip. It is a pattern of behavior. We saw this mentality on display previously. Reports surfaced from her time in New York, where she stayed in a huge townhouse that she was grifting from someone. Even there, in the middle of a republic, the poor cleaner had to announce her as the Royal Highness of Duchess of Sussex, even when there was only one other person in the house who happened to be a journalist. Imagine the scene. A cleaner, forced to act like a royal herald in a private living room just to feed Meghan's ego. This invisible staff rule exposes the lie at the heart of the Sussex brand. You cannot preach about equality, compassion, and community on a podcast and then walk through a hotel demanding that the help stare at the floor. It creates an atmosphere of fear, not respect. And for the palace officials reviewing these demands, this was likely the tipping point. They know that the British public who value their dignity and detest snobbery would never tolerate this behavior. Meghan thinks these rules make her look regal. In reality, they make her look insecure. Only someone who is truly terrified of being irrelevant demands to be announced like a queen every time they enter a room. But as offensive as these demands are, there is a darker theory emerging about why she made them. What if she knows these demands are impossible? What if this entire list isn't about getting a hotel room, but about setting a trap? As we analyze these demands, the bulletproof glass, the hotel lockdown, the invisible staff, it is easy to simply label Meghan as a diva. But sources close to the palace believe there is something far more Machiavellian at play here. They suspect that this dossier isn't a wish list. It is a weapon. We call it the security trap. Think about it logically. Meghan Markle is a smart woman. She knows how the world works. She knows that the British government is currently battling a cost-of-living crisis. She knows that the Metropolitan Police have strictly stated that security is not for hire. She knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that demanding the lockdown of a major city hotel for a non-working royal is politically impossible. So, why ask for it? Why submit a list that you know will be rejected? The answer is chillingly simple. She wants them to say no. Insiders suggest that this entire charade is a setup. By setting the bar for her return impossibly high, Meghan creates a perfect win-win scenario for her narrative, and a lose-lose for the royal family. If the palace somehow agrees to these insane demands, she returns to the UK as a conqueror, proving she is more powerful than the institution. But if the palace refuses, which she knows they must, she gets to play her favorite card, the victim. She is arguably engineering a rejection so she can go on television, perhaps another sit-down with Oprah or a tearful segment on CBS, and say, "I wanted to go back. I wanted to support the veterans. I wanted my children to know their heritage. But the firm refused to keep me safe." It is the ultimate gaslighting tactic. She takes the consequences of her own unreasonable behavior and twists them to make the royal family look like the villains who left a mother and her children unprotected. She will not step foot in Britain without full protection. Police escorts, no risks, period. That is the line she has drawn in the sand, and it is a line designed to be crossed. This cynical game of chess reminds us that true safety isn't just about bulletproof glass. It's about being surrounded by people who genuinely care for you, not those who use you for PR. Before we uncover the real fear driving this trap, I want to take a brief moment to check in on you, our loyal community. In a world full of noise and strategy, I truly hope that you and your loved ones are safe, in good health, and finding peace in your own sanctuaries today. We are building a global family here at Legacy's Edge, and I am always humbled by your presence. I would be honored to know where you are joining us from. Are you watching from the historic streets of London, the sunny coasts of California, or perhaps somewhere quiet in the countryside? Please, formally state your city and country in the comments below. It is a privilege to connect with you. Now, let's strip away the safety excuse and look at the brutal truth behind the trap. Why does Meghan really want an excuse to stay away from the UK? It isn't because she is afraid of a terrorist. Insiders say she is afraid of the British public. She remembers the Platinum Jubilee. She remembers walking down the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. She remembers the sound that no amount of PR money can silence. The booing. To a narcissist who thrives on adoration, that sound was a psychological injury. She knows that if she returns for the Invictus Games in 2027 without a fortress of separation, she will face that reality again. She cannot control the crowd. She cannot script the public reaction. And that terrifies her. So, the security trap is her shield. By demanding a level of security that isolates her completely from the public bulletproof glass, private wings, tinted windows, she ensures she never has to hear a single boo. And if the palace refuses to pay for that shield, she stays in Montecito, safe in her mansion, claiming she was forced into exile by a cruel monarchy. Everything depends on the security review. Everything depends on the security review. Meghan has turned a sporting event for wounded veterans into a high-stakes hostage negotiation for her own ego. She is betting that the palace will crumble under the pressure of being called unsafe. But she forgot one thing. She forgot that she is not dealing with the patient Queen Elizabeth anymore. She is dealing with Prince William, and reports suggest that the Prince of Wales has decided to stop playing games and start drawing lines. If Meghan Markle thought she could bully the British monarchy into submission with a security trap, she made a catastrophic miscalculation. She forgot that the person standing at the gate is no longer just a grieving brother. He is the Prince of Wales. And sources inside Kensington Palace confirm that William has drawn a definitive red line. While King Charles, in his fatherly softness, might still feel a twinge of sadness for his erratic son, William has reportedly reached the point of enough is enough. This week, we saw the first major move in William's counter-offensive. Reports confirm that he has hired one of the country's most experienced crisis management PRs to work within his team day to day. This is not a routine hire. This is a war cabinet appointment. William is preparing to fight fire with fire because he understands exactly what Meghan is trying to do. He knows that this isn't just about a hotel room in Birmingham. It is about establishing a rival royal court. Let's analyze the danger that William sees. If the palace agrees to Meghan's demands, if they give her the bulletproof protection and the official police escorts, they are essentially granting her the status of an International Protected Person, IPP. This is the golden ticket that Meghan desperately craves. With IPP status, Harry and Meghan could travel anywhere in the world. New York, Colombia, Nigeria, maybe even fashion weeks in Paris, and bill the British taxpayer for their security. They could play royal on the global stage, shaking hands with dignitaries and pretending to represent the crown, all while profiting for themselves. It would be a fake monarchy, funded by real public money. William sees this threat clearly. He knows that a victory for Harry would mean he had partly achieved what he and Meghan always wanted, to be half-in, half-out royals. They would get the major perk of automatic taxpayer-funded protection, but none of the obligations of public service. It is the ultimate betrayal of Queen Elizabeth's legacy. You cannot be half-in and half-out, and William has positioned himself as the enforcer of that legacy. Insiders suggest that it was William who strongly advised against any negotiation with the Hyatt Ultimatum. His stance is reportedly absolute. No duties, no security. If you want the perks of the palace, you must do the work of the palace. You cannot trash the family on Netflix, sell secrets to Oprah, and then expect a fleet of police cars to escort you to a luxury hotel. William understands that giving in to a bully only invites more bullying. As the commentary noted, someone with this mindset is going to make your life miserable if you give them an inch. Meghan wants a mile. William refuses to give her a millimeter. This red line marks a significant shift in the dynamic. For years, the royal family adopted the never complain, never explain strategy, often suffering in silence while the Sussexes launched grenades from California. But William is ushering in a new era. He is building a team of sharp-elbowed experts who are not afraid to say no. He is protecting his father, the king, who is battling cancer and does not need the stress of Meghan's Diva Demands. But most importantly, he is protecting the future of the crown. The rejection of Meghan's demands is William's way of saying, "You are civilians, deal with it." He has stripped away the glamour of their victimhood and exposed the reality. They are two wealthy celebrities who made a choice to leave. And choices have consequences. One of those consequences is that you book your own hotel, you hire your own bodyguards, and you wait in traffic like everyone else. Meghan's attempt to set up a rival court has crashed against the wall of William's resolve. He has effectively told the world, there is only one monarchy, and it is not for sale or rent. But as William holds the line, the reality of Meghan's situation in America is becoming desperate. Without the royal fairy dust, and without the victory of a UK return, her empire is crumbling. If Prince William's refusal was a blow to Meghan's ego, it was a death sentence for her bank account. We have arrived at the brutal reality of the dying brand. Why is Meghan Markle so desperate to return to a country she claims to hate? Why submit a list of Diva Demands for a security fortress just to attend a sporting event? The answer is not nostalgia. It is survival. As Sarah Vine brutally but accurately noted in the Daily Mail, the clock has struck midnight for the Duchess of Sussex. The royal fairy dust is finally wearing off, and the lavish bandwagon she's been riding high on is finally turning back into a pumpkin. For 6 years, Meghan has traded on her connection to the Windsors. She sold secrets to Oprah. She sold a reality show to Netflix. She sold a memoir via Harry. But now, the inventory is empty. She has nothing left to sell. And Hollywood, a town that smells desperation like a shark smells blood, has turned its back on her. Her podcast was canceled. Her Spotify deal was axed. And her grand launch of American Riviera Orchard has been met with a deafening silence. Let's be honest. No one in America wants to buy strawberry jam from a middle-aged minor actress from Suits. They want to buy exclusivity from a royal duchess. Without the connection to King Charles and Prince William, Meghan Markle is just another influencer in Montecito trying to hawk kitchenware. She needs to re-up on that magic. She needs a new photo op. She needs to be seen standing on British soil, surrounded by security, being treated like royalty. She needs that image to remind the world, and her investors, that she is still important. Without her royal connections and victim-survivor narrative, the Duchess is just another middle-aged minor actress with a lifestyle brand to flog. That is why the permanent ban and the rejection of her demands is such a catastrophe for her business plan. She was banking on this UK return to be the commercial reboot of her life. She likely envisioned a triumphant tour, flashing cameras, cheering crowds, managed by security, and headlines that would boost her brand's value. Instead, she is launching leather bookmarks made by a small English company, a pathetic attempt to cling to some semblance of British heritage while sitting 5,000 miles away. It is a dud, a complete failure. Insiders suggest that Meghan knows her American dream is turning into a nightmare. She knows she cannot make money or have the life that she envisioned for herself staying in California. She needs proximity to the UK to stay relevant. But William's Red Line has cut off that supply chain. By refusing to give her the IPP status and the fortress security, the palace has effectively demonetized her. They have told the world, "She is not one of us. Do not buy what she is selling." The tragedy for Meghan is that she burned the very bridge she now desperately needs to cross to survive. She insulted the customers, the British public, and sued the management, the palace. And now, as her brand dies a slow public death, she is left with a warehouse full of jam and a calendar full of empty dates. She is plotting. She is scheming. Meghan is plotting something, trying to go get some more fairy dust. But with the Hyatt Ultimatum in the trash, her plot has failed. She is trapped in the gilded cage of Montecito, watching her relevance fade with every passing day. And that brings us to the final, inevitable conclusion. With no way back to the UK, and no future in Hollywood, what happens when the exile becomes permanent? As the heavy doors of the palace symbolically swing shut on these Diva Demands, we are left with a profound lesson that extends far beyond the royal family. Meghan Markle's list, the bulletproof glass, the hotel lockdown, the demand for titles is not just a PR disaster. It is a masterclass in hubris. From my perspective here at Legacy's Edge, this story teaches us a fundamental truth about life. You cannot demand respect. You have to earn it. Meghan tried to negotiate with an institution that has stood for 1,000 years, thinking she could dictate terms. But she forgot that you cannot have the privileges of the crown without the burden of the duty. You cannot be half in for the glamour and half out for the Netflix money. It is, in many ways, a tragedy of her own making. She had the platform to change the world, but she traded it for a rival court that exists only in her imagination. Now, instead of a royal welcome, she faces the reality that no one actually wants her here. The permanent ban isn't a piece of paper signed by the king. It is the natural consequence of burning bridges and then expecting the people you burned to carry you across the water. Now, the final verdict belongs to you, the jury of public opinion. Do you think King Charles should take the final step to end these Diva Demands once and for all? Should the king strip Harry and Meghan of their titles to stop them from commercializing the monarchy? Type strip titles if you think it is time to cut the cord. Type keep if you think they should remain Duke and Duchess. If you appreciate uncensored truth and believe that duty should always come before diva behavior, please hit that like button. It helps us fight the algorithm. And make sure to subscribe to Legacy's Edge and ring the bell. We will be here to report on the next chapter of this royal saga, because the truth is the only legacy worth protecting. I'm Man, and I'll see you in the next video.